Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We're back. Welcome to BCB Transport Live. Myself, Christy. And today we've got Heather. Thank you so much for joining us. You're always so fun. And then the producer, of course, he's back from vacation. He's here helping us out. That's the only reason we're in here, because if not, it'd be a rerun or there just wouldn't be a show. I'm not going to lie. I could try to one-man it, but that wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. I talk enough to myself as it is. Fact, I saw a meme last night that said there's really not a problem like if you talk to yourself or if you answer yourself. The problem is when you talk to yourself and then you have to repeat to yourself because you weren't listening. I was like, wait, that doesn't happen to me.
I think I've done that multiple times.
I've definitely done that.
Wait, what was I just?
Many times I've walked into the living room or the kitchen and been like, oh yeah, I was going to do this. I'm talking to myself right now, trying to talk myself through, and then I like stare at a wall for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, and then somebody walks in, like, what are you doing? And you're like, I don't know. I came in here for a reason. I'll remember later.
I think I've been talking to my dogs more than I have humans.
Right? Yeah.
Since I was working from home.
You like expect them to answer, right? I mean, like a lot of times I'll say that to my dog. Like, I'm like, why are you such a brat? And she's looking at me.
I get that. The sideways.
Are you going to say anything? Like, I'm waiting.
See, I'd rather talk to a dog. Yeah. My roommate has a cat, so I've been having to talk to the cat.
See, I'm
not fun because they'll just sit there and like do one of those at you for a little while, or just stare at you.
Yes,
and
like, I feel like a cat's always gonna like. Cats have attitude.
They
major attitude.
I found that out this week working from home. So I have 3 dogs and then my cat. Milo has become a dog. And so the dogs get treats when they've been good. Well, he gets up from his nap, and sometimes I don't let him outside. So if he goes to his bowl and there's no treats, he jumps on the counter and starts pushing things off.
Oh, he's going to show you.
Yep.
He's like, don't forget about me. I'm the boss. You just think, I just let you live here.
No, they actually do think that it is their house. Like that's part of their thing is like they don't like closed doors and stuff because if you close a door in their house, that's not acceptable.
Yep. See, it's like a bad teenage daughter.
Oh, for
something. You know, like I would not have been able to handle that. Like, you or me, but one of us got to go. Yeah. And the cat's probably like, it's going to be you.
It's so funny because I'm like, in the morning, I'm like to the dog, okay, let's go outside. And he's the first one at the door. And I'm like, okay, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, I wasn't talking to you. So speaking of talking of, we like to bring people in and just kind of introduce. I mean, of course, you've been here a while. Most people should know you. But for our newer drivers or somebody that doesn't, we just kind of wanted to get you in here. Dylan's always really good at interviewing. So I'll let him take over, just kind of jump in, ask you.
I mean, it's not necessarily an interview, more just like, hey, what's up? Yeah.
My life is pretty boring. Oh, my God.
I don't know. I think you have some exciting stuff going on.
Cool. Yeah, well, of course, this is Heather. So Heather, while we got you on the line, what do you do here at BCB?
I am a driver manager. I used to have my own board, but I got moved to nights for a couple months. So now I'm watching Gabby's board while she's on nights. Which was actually really nice because I got to talk to drivers that I never get to talk to and got to know them better. And it was nice because some drivers like to talk to their dispatchers, which I totally get, but at night they kind of don't have a choice.
I get everybody.
So it was nice. I really enjoyed it. Now working overnight, if I was 20, I'm on it. In my 40s, my body was like,
this is not happening.
I'm glad to be back on days, but nights was nice. I learned a lot more
that I don't see. You kind of have to do
because you're
all of
everybody. You're maintenance, you're customer service, you're driver manager, you're the shoulder to cry on it. And I loved it.
You have to be able to do all of it.
Yep, I liked it.
Yeah.
So how did your sleeping schedule change in the midst of that? Like, what did that transition look like?
Well, because it was such a fast transition, we found out on Friday that I would be starting nights on a Monday. So Saturday, I kind of like tried to sleep through the day, and then that Saturday night didn't work. So then Sunday, I napped pretty much all day. I tried to stay up and watch TV, but when you watch TV, you just get bored and fall asleep. So I know. So the first couple weeks, so you work Monday through Sunday into Monday morning, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. So I would get up at 5. I would try to stay up till like at least 6:37. But there was just days where I'd just go to bed and I was out until it was time to come to work. Yeah. But it was hard. Like with the holidays, I wanted to see my family. So I was up at like 11:30 in the morning and stayed up till the next morning.
Oh my gosh, so the next morning, yes.
And then I slept really good the next night. So it's a hard transition because on your week off, by like Tuesday, Wednesday, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My body's like, are you ready for a nap? I'm like, no.
No, like I want to be awake. I'm trying to,
yeah. So, you try to see your family. So you go back to your normal schedule and then try by like Friday, Saturday.
So every week you're trying to do something different.
Yeah.
Now, are you normally a night person?
No.
Oh,
No.
See, I am. So I feel like it would be kind of easy for me to transition into that.
Like last night I went to bed at 7:45.
Oh my God.
But now I'm back here at 5. So I get up at 3:45.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. I used to be, and I'm not anymore.
No?
No.
Yeah. No. I mean, I can't like stay up maybe I was late, but I am still very like that's why I still am so tired even on the weekends. Because like Friday night and I get home and I'm like I should go to bed like 10, 11 so that way I could sleep till 9 or 10 and feel really good. But I don't want the day to end because I'm like then the weekend has started and I'm closer to going back to work. So I end up staying up late, like till 2:30. But then I've been trying to get up by like 8:30 or 9 so that I still have my whole day. So that I'm just tired all the time.
Friday night. We tried to. My son came home because he missed Christmas with us, so he came home this weekend. So we tried to stay up. I was up till probably 11:30, but then I slept till like 8:30, and I'm like, crap, my days have gone because I go to bed early Saturday night because I work at 5 on Sundays. So I'm like, crap.
Exactly. Yep.
You can't win.
I cannot believe that you'd stay up till 2:30. I'm sorry. I can't even stay up till 2:30.
I don't even know if I did that in my 20s.
Oh
no, as somebody in their 20s, I don't stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's Saturday
crazy.
night, we were up till 5 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Doing what?
My brother and sister. So we ended up going to dinner with my family for my birthday from last weekend because they were sick the weekend before. So we went to dinner and then we invited them to come over afterwards if they wanted. I thought they'd stay like a couple hours. I mean, it wasn't late once we got back to the house. Maybe it was, I don't know, 10:30, something like that. Because we went to dinner late. And then we just started playing a game. We were playing Midnight Taboo. And it was just the 4 of us. And we just kept playing. And, before I know it, like, it's kind of late. And then before I know it, I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, oh my God, it's 4 in the morning. Are they going to go home? Are they like, I love them. I was having fun, but I was ready to go to bed. And I didn't want to be rude, so we just kept playing and playing. And finally at 5, I was like, look, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I got to go to bed.
I wouldn't have been able to.
I'm really tired.
No.
Yep.
Not unless I was forced to work.
Because then it kind of messed up Sunday because then I kept waking up because I didn't want to sleep all day.
Yep.
So I made myself like get out of bed at 11. But at that point, I'm like, I only had 6 hours of sleep. Like it wasn't that much. Yeah, so I was tired.
Yeah.
Sunday was kind of a waste.
Yeah.
I just done. But it was fun.
So, Heather, how long have you been here at BCB?
I have been here a year and a half. It'll be 2 years in July.
Right. So,
my best.
In that time, you've been primarily a dispatcher.
Always
what led
been a
you over
dispatcher.
here?
Yeah, until when I worked nights. So, yep, I always have been a DM.
Cool.
So.
And what led you over here?
So we moved down here in January of 2019. I actually was working for another trucking company that went out of business, which everybody has heard about, for Falcon. And then I worked for another company in Irving, and the drive, it was awful. 360 is a nightmare. I don't know why anybody.
It was a nightmare when I used to drive it, and that was like 18 years ago.
It's
so
awful. And it was just stressing me out. And my husband's like, try and find something closer. And I know Shelly from previous, and I didn't know she worked here, so I filled out an application. And
crazy small world, right?
It
Always
is a very, very small world. Yeah.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
Seems like a good little transition there into here. So I know you're up from Iowa. What's it like being in just a completely different climate here in Texas?
Well, I love it. But as we just spoke, I did miss the snow for Christmas. I do, it's just not the same. Like it's 70 degrees out for Christmas. It's just hard to swallow, but we don't miss the cold. Like I was telling you, the day we moved down here it was negative 38 degrees in Ohio. And like my husband says, you couldn't pay him NFL money to move back. we just can't. It's so hard. And as you get older, your bones are brittle.
Yeah.
You get colder, and it's so funny because I still make fun of people on my side because they're like, it's 72 degrees over there. Like, it's freezing, and I'm like, what? So I still make fun of them because no coat. If it gets down to like the teens, then I get a little chilly. But otherwise, I don't even know if I still own a winter coat.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm sure you don't miss like shoveling snow though.
No.
I can't
Shoveling
imagine
and
like having to shovel
snowblowing.
snow just to get out of your driveway. I'd be like, I'm never going anywhere. I'll just
yeah.
stay home.
I was telling my husband a story when I was a kid up in Iowa. I think I was 4, and we had a porch, and we woke up and the snow was over the porch. So it was probably a good 9 feet tall.
Oh
So we built a little doorway
gosh.
through the snow because it had just drifted.
Yeah.
And our house was like the only one up there at the time, so all the wind just drifted all the snow. And I mean, it was awful when I was a kid. The snow was crazy. Now it doesn't seem like we get as
the
much.
same.
Yeah, it's not as much.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Alaska or
Gosh, I can't imagine. Just like
snowblowing was the
snow
worst.
taller than you.
The week before we moved down here, we got a huge snowstorm, and we had kids over at our house because my stepson was going off to the Army. And so we had a huge party, and they stayed at our house, and we woke up the next morning, and we had like 3 feet of snow. So we went over the driveway like 3 times with a snowblower. I'm like, I'm going inside. You guys are...
You have fun.
I don't have to go anywhere, so
Exactly.
you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, at a certain point, you kind of just got to be like, well, this is not going to melt for a while. This is not happening. We're just going to have to keep this.
We're just going to stay inside till
Exactly.
May.
Yeah, exactly. We're in hibernation.
Yes, exactly.
So what are some things that you like to do whenever you're not dispatching?
My husband and I like to travel when we can. But he stays busy with his company as well. So, and he's getting more into it. So it's been a little not been able to do that. And then with COVID and everything else, you have to be careful where you go. But we've been trying to get back to Ohio. His parents are still there. But we've booked 3 trips this year and had to cancel all of them.
Oh my god!
So I'm like, we're not booking anything until I know everybody's had it and we're good because people at his office have been sick and here.
Yeah.
So we do stuff with our dogs. We like the dog park on the weekends. I have a grandbaby on the way in April.
See, I told you she had exciting stuff going on.
That's exciting.
I'm super excited. And now that she's actually like showing, and it's
like baby's moving.
Oh,
it's
so funny. She sends us videos every night because he moves and he'll let her know when he's hungry. And he starts moving and just grooving, and he's so funny. He moves all over, and she's like, yeah, and if I don't feed him, he gets even more upset, so he kicks a little harder. So yeah, so she's super excited.
So fun.
Yeah.
What's her due date?
April 17th. But I don't think she's so low. Like he sits really, really low. So I'm thinking probably the end of March. But I told her she can't go into labor on March 24th because we're going to see New Edition.
Oh.
And of course, my mom was like, I'll take over. I'm like, no.
She'll be like, Mom, my water just broke.
Yeah. But she's getting excited. She had a rough week because she had COVID last week and makes us nervous with being pregnant. So, but the doctor was like, no, as long as everything is
good.
It was almost just like a bad head cold, and just super tired. I think, but he never slowed down. So
of course not. Yeah. Well, I'll tell her that's preparing her for mom life.
Yes. And it was nice because last night she's like, I can't wait to hold him. Because I had a friend of mine, her daughter had a baby, and she was only 24 weeks.
Oh wow!
Because she had preeclampsia, and they took her, but she's thriving, and so. Just to see a 1 pound, and I'm like, oh my God, that's my baby right now, and I'm like, it just breaks my heart. But
yes.
Everything is going good, and you just tell, like in the pictures that they post, she's a fighter, and
Well, and I mean, the medicine has just come so far. I mean, like even when I had my kids, now I'm the old lady that's like, well, back when I had my kids, but way back then. Even then, like if you had a baby at 24 weeks, like that was scary.
It was very scary.
The chances of survival weren't what they are now.
No,
I mean,
and
now
she's in a really good spot. She's up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota,
okay.
and huge neonatal.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, it was just a great,
just the right place.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's happy.
Yeah,
That's
but I
good
said,
to hear.
Shelby, you can't do that.
Yeah, like please
Don't
don't.
do that.
Please. Yeah.
But I don't think he's not ready yet.
Good. Keep on cooking in there.
That's right.
Stay there. Trust me, kid. Just
Yep.
stay there.
Exactly.
It's safer.
Well,
it's happier.
That's what she says. She's like, I'm so scared to raise a kid today
Oh,
in
yeah.
today's world. I said, I get it. You just
You
got to do your best.
Yeah. And it doesn't get better, right? Even as
No.
they get older. That I was saying that to
No.
Riley the other day. I was like, I remember like being pregnant and you're worried about like, oh my gosh, do they have all their fingers? Do they have all their toes? Like, is everything okay? And you don't know until they're, I mean, now they can check things, but you don't really know and feel good till they're out. Then once they're out, it's like, oh my gosh, please don't let them hit their head. Please don't let them fall. Please don't let them get kidnapped. Please don't run away. Please don't, there's all these things as they get older and then they get ready to move out. And then you're like, please don't somebody like break into their apartment. Don't let them get in a bad car accident. Like it's just.
And it was so funny because she was over at our house on Sunday. And she's like, oh, yeah, he's never getting a cell phone. I'm like, okay, I'm going to mark this date. Because every time she'll say something, I'm like,
pull out my book. Remember back on this date?
I remember saying all that.
Remember how you harassed me for one?
Yeah.
And I was the not cool mom.
And I said, well, so how are you supposed to get a hold of you? Well, if he does have a cell phone, it'll just have our numbers in there. Like, okay.
That's how it always
no
starts.
social media. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, good luck in this environment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Well, my best friend that lives in Iowa, she's got a senior in high school and an 8th grader. And the 8th grader, she comes home from school and she goes right to her room and she's on TikTok and Instagram and she's like, but she's very athletic. So it's kind of nice.
She does have.
And she's a straight A student, but she's still like, there's nothing in between besides social media.
Well, I think I'm not a doctor. I should be, but not. But I do really feel like that's why anxiety is so much higher in this generation and depression and things like that because where, you pass notes, some people got invited to parties, some didn't. And it might have kind of hurt your feelings, but that was it. You didn't have to see the pictures posted everywhere.
Now it's
you didn't hear that
everywhere.
everyone was there. You were the only person that wasn't invited. And, it's just in their face all the time. And there's never a break.
Yep.
And that makes me so sad for them because I'm like, you need to be able to like just get away from it. And it's not that big of a deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it because I would feel like that. I mean, like if constantly everybody was invited to stuff and I wasn't, and then I had to watch the pictures and hear everybody talk about it and see everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I honestly have a cousin like that. She lives up in South Dakota and she's got 2 boys. One's going to in 5th grade and the other one I think is a first or second. And they don't have cell phones. They don't have any of that. They live in a small town and they go out. He's building a car. The 5th grader is building a car.
That's amazing.
They're very outside. They go shoot their guns in the cornfield across the street.
It's normal life.
It's a normal like when we grew up.
Yes.
And I miss that. I miss that immensely for kids because it's an awful world.
It is.
It's so sad.
No,
It's just
agree.
hyperstimulation all the time. I have a brother who's a few years younger than me, and that's not to say that I'm not like still within the generation that grew up with all of the constant buzz of everything going on all the time, and just the difference between even 5 years of being surrounded by social media and technology. It's crazy. Just I think he's become more ADHD almost. I don't think that's because of anything other than him growing up, but I don't think being on stuff all the time is necessarily helping it. And so he's like all over the place all the time. And
Yep. Well, and they've grown up in an instant access world. Right. They don't know what it is to have to wait for things.
You ask a kid now to find a map.
Like,
let me pull
what?
up Google.
Like, how am I? I mean, there's not. You can't just like look at it on your phone.
But that's
like,
the thing. It's like some places you can't have a
things.
map. Like if you go camping in some places, you can't do. I went to Big Bend a few months ago, and I was like, I gotta get a map. Like I can't navigate this place without that. Like there's no way that I can come in here with my phone and think I'm gonna have cell service in the middle of nowhere. Like you just have to be able to do that. And I feel like it's just not.
Well, and I'm sure like
commonplace.
our drivers can all relate to that because they've gone from a world of they used to drive with maps and and their maps goes, let me pull that out.
I
and
still
you had to
have
map
some
your
drivers
route.
who have their atlas and that's what they go off
and they go
of.
off that because they don't trust and sometimes you can't even trust the GPS because I know and I think it still does it, but I may be wrong. But it'll route them wanting to come through downtown instead of like all the way around.
Yep.
And so, even those things.
I think
like,
there's a driver, I can't remember whose board he's on, but he has 3 GPSs. He's like, I have 3 because they're never the same.
They all say the same different things.
So I just run 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it does depend on like what you pick. Because when we came back from Broken Bow, Riley's got an iPhone. I have an Android, and my brother has an iPhone also. But I guess he was running Waze. I had either looked up Map or Waze, and I guess she looked it up on Siri or some Apple app, something, I don't know. And it sent all 3 of us a different route. We're all going to the same place. We went 3 different ways.
I just don't understand how that is even possible.
No.
Well, I feel like I'd have more of a hard time navigating 2 GPSs or 3. I know that Justin Hayes just typed out that he has 2, but like, do you flip a coin or like what's the decision making? Like, if I have 3 GPSs, am I gonna like roll the dice and odds or this one even to this one?
Shortest route.
Yeah, shortest route.
Although that might not be the best route,
right? Yeah, that would be hard. Yeah, I can't imagine driving out there right now.
No.
Not in these conditions at all.
Yeah, no, not even a little bit. We actually have a driver here on the line, and David Mason, what do you got for us today, sir?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I actually run 2 GPSs most of the time. One of them is the one that is part of our driver tech. And it shows more of truck routes.
Okay.
And then I run Google Maps because it's actually what do they call that? Web share. People can update if there's traffic accidents, things like that.
Okay.
Kind of like
Where the
Waze.
driver tech doesn't do that. But Google Maps will keep me if there's a road closure that happens while I'm going, or if there's heavy traffic somewhere. And people can put that in there if there's cops or a speed trap or things like that. The sad part I don't usually worry about because I'm usually under the speed limit, but it has all of that stuff too. And then I have my road atlas because I'm old school because it has a lot of stuff about the weights and limits and things like that and the lengths of the trailers and stuff if I'm going somewhere I've never been.
Yeah, no, that's all really good. Yeah.
I noticed that, David. Last week I had to go to Waco because my husband thought it was a good idea to take one of our dogs to work. Anyway, so I had to go to Waco to get a dog. But on my way, it was New Year's Eve and there was cops all over. My Google Maps actually brought up, hey, there's a speed alert ahead, and it was right. Every time there was a cop
there
on.
was someone there. Yep.
Which is great. I mean, I wasn't speeding, but everybody else around me, that place is great. Waco is insane.
Yes, I don't like driving on 35 through Waco. Like, I feel like it's always like twisty, turny, and there's wall. I hate when there's walls on the highway. And
the construction's awful. Yeah,
makes me so nervous. But yeah, I do not like going through Waco. It's crazy.
Nope, I am not a fan.
Yeah, I agree. So other than that, I guess the big thing to talk about is COVID. You know, it's like you mentioned, it's still here. Unfortunately, this Omicron variant seems to be insane. It seems to be really contagious, but I don't know if it's mainly just for people that are vaccinated, but the symptoms seem to be not as life-threatening. I'm not saying that there aren't still life-threatening symptoms out there. I absolutely know that people are still getting COVID and ending up in the hospital and, you know, on ventilators and things like that. So I'm not trying to take away from that at all. But this one seems to be, most people are getting like a sore throat and like a head cold. But as fast as it's here, it's kind of gone. Like it's not really lingering for more than like 5 days. But there are a few, but also there's still, people are getting bronchitis and just normal. The flu is here. You know, a lot of people have been sick and that's the thing that's lingering for like 2 weeks. And everyone's like, but it's not COVID. Like I've been tested.
Right.
Like, well, remember there's still other illnesses out there. There are still other viruses around. I know that like, they're not on the forefront, but they are there. So
and
my
I don't think it
husband was
helps
doing
like
that.
with having this and then our weather going from 70 to 20 in like 2 hours the other day. I'm like,
yes, on New Year's Day. It was crazy. Yeah, that definitely doesn't help because that's the thing is like and then you can't go get tested. You know, you have these symptoms and everyone's like, go get tested. But you can't because everybody's getting tested. And so just really, you know, kind of pay attention. Of course, you know, it's hard to know. There's no flashing sign on someone's head like, hey, I'm sick because hopefully that person doesn't know they're sick, and you happen to be around them. But just kind of do your best. Try to stay up on your vitamins. If you feel comfortable getting that vaccine, go and get that. If you're due for a booster and you feel comfortable doing that, you can look it up. You can go to vaccine.gov, and it'll list everyone that's got it available, so that way you can schedule an appointment. I know right now most places you can't walk in. It had gotten to where you could walk in and it was doing really good. And now, since everything's kind of crazy again, you do need to make those appointments. And it's like days out, which makes it even harder to get tested because, it's like you can't even schedule anything. And some places won't even open up the schedule for more than like 2 days. So you can't even book it for 4 or 5 days out. You just have to keep checking every single day and every morning. So really all you can do is just do your best, wear your mask, be diligent about washing your hands, especially right now anyway, just because it is
germy season.
Yeah, germy season. That's just good practice.
Right?
That's what I keep telling David. I'm like, even if things ever go back to like normal. I think I still will always kind of have that antibacterial spray in my car from now on when I get out of store. I've been trying to do better about like not touching my face all the time. Like there's little habits that you pick up that are probably just good practice anyway. But we really just want everyone to kind of stay healthy. I know that they recommend zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C. If your levels of those are generally low, then it may not be a bad idea to get those. You can order them on Amazon. Just kind of take them every day. Of course, talk to your healthcare provider if you have any concerns about anything. And for company drivers, remember that you do have Health ESU available. So if you're feeling sick, even if it is just a sore throat or it's a head, sinus infections are the worst. Like it gets in your head and you just can't. I was talking to someone yesterday, like you can't bend over, you feel like you're going to pass out. Like there's so much pressure. So, call them because they can tell the difference and you can at least talk to them. And if they can prescribe you something, get you started on that before it settles in your chest. And turns into bronchitis or pneumonia or something more serious. So if you need that information, please reach out to HR. We are always happy to get that to you. Just really want everybody to take care of themselves and try and stay as healthy and safe as possible. So today we have one birthday. That one's easy for me. There was only one birthday for today or tomorrow. The birthday today is for Robert Harvey. So happy birthday to you. Hope you have a really great day. I haven't seen him in the office in a while, but I remember when he first came on, I did orientation with him and really, really nice. I've had the pleasure of speaking to his wife before and she's really nice. So we really enjoy him being part of BCB and hope you have a very wonderful birthday today, sir.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
I just want to thank all the drivers during the transition of me going to nights, everybody changing, everybody working from home. You guys have been amazing.
Yes.
Just bear with us. If you can't reach us, just send us a message. But thank you for being so patient and doing a great job every day.
Yeah, that is a nice thing. They always work with us and kind of understand, it might be chaos for a second, but we're doing our best, we promise. And like Heather said, if you can't get a hold of anybody, you can always reach out to us. We can try our best to figure out, because we know a little more of if they're here or working from home and which avenue to go. So absolutely. But to mirror her sentiments, thank you. We just appreciate you always being patient with us and working with us and understanding. So do we have safety today? That's it? Just us? Well, that's all you got from us today. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Heather, thank you so much for joining us. We really had fun. Dylan, as always, thank you, sir.
Yep, thank
and
you
we'll
guys.
be back on Thursday. Have a good one.